Hey everyone, welcome back. Good morning. So let's start today with a very good tip, insight about interview, and then we will go through the main topic. Okay. So typically, what happens in an interview is that in a typical interview, you will start the interview. They'll ask for your introduction. Okay, so most of the time you will get some time for your introduction. The moment they ask you, tell me something about yourself or whatever you have done, next 5 minutes is yours, and you have to use those 5 minutes very carefully. Okay, what I'm trying to say is that keep it brief and precise. Okay, and try to demonstrate or try to tell all the things you have worked in the technology, and if you are experienced person, then the kind of project and this kind of Salesforce thing that project had. So what it will do is that most of the time interviewer will try to first find out whatever you are saying that you know, whether you actually know that thing or not. That will be the first step of the interviewer, and then second step will be to see the job description they have. They must have got some idea about the job description, about whether they are looking for a LWC developer or whether they are looking for a service cloud heavy developer, kind of that. The second step will be that they will be trying to find out whether you know that fit or not, so that if you are a good fit for that role or not. So first step will be that they will try to assert that whatever you are saying that you know, you already know that or not. And then they will go for job description and ask the things which are written in the job description. So if you plan carefully about whatever written in the job description and whatever you are going to say in your introduction, there are very good chances that you may avoid the topic which you are not very good at, or you may plan it in a better manner. Okay, so what I normally do is that I'll introduce myself, total experience and the companies I have worked on, and then I do not linger on a lot on unnecessary things. I'll directly jump onto the technology, I'll directly jump onto the Salesforce, and I directly say that I have mostly worked on, let's say, triggers, batches, lighting web components, service cloud, sales cloud, community cloud, all the things which I'm confident at, all the things which I feel that if I get a question on, I'll be more than happy to answer that question. It is like putting words in interviewer mouth by telling all the things you already know and you are good at. Okay, it's not that it will always work, but most of the time, 6 or 7 out of 10, it will work that whatever you say in your introduction, interviewer will start asking question from that. Because if you see it from the interviewer's point of view, interviewer is working on his own thing and he has to take your interview, so he'll not spend time to planning that interview. He'll not have a predefined set of questions, or he'll not have a set of already defined questions, or he will not prepare how to take your interview. He will just jump onto your interview and start asking questions from whatever you say. That's how a typical interview goes. Okay, sometimes, very rarely, you will also get an interviewer which will already have a plan. Sometimes you will get an interviewer who may not even ask you to introduce yourself because they already have your resume and everything. They directly jump onto the topics. And sometimes you will get an interviewer, even after putting everything in his mouth, he will take interview in his own manner. Okay, so that you have to identify by giving the interview. By within interview you will be able to see, okay, this interviewer is not going as per what I thought or as per the direction I'm giving him. He has his own way of taking interview, and then you have to improvise as per his question. But most of the time, whatever you introduce, your next set of questions will be determined by that. Okay. So in your introduction, you guys have to work a lot. Okay, not explain, like briefly tell about your project in 2, 3 lines. Briefly tell about major things you have worked on Salesforce. Briefly tell about on a typical day how much time you spend on development versus testing versus deployment. So this gives an idea about how are you as a developer and what are your major strength and all those things. Don't linger on the things which are not related to Salesforce, because you are wasting your time on that. you have only 3-4 minute window to introduce yourself, and then the technical questions will start. Okay. Any doubt in this part?
No.
Okay, cool. Let me, am I already sharing now? Just a second. Let me share my screen. Okay, you guys are able to see PPT screen, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so types of relationships. Okay, this is very important from not only from the interview point of view, but also from the learning Salesforce point of view as well. And no matter how much I am focused only on questions, I'll have to explain few of these things. So typically there are two types of relationship: lookup relationship and master detail relationship. Okay. But recently I've seen that in interviews, they're asking a lot of contradictory question that you were saying only two types of relationship, but there are many other relationships as well. To list them all, there are in total 6 relationship: lookup, master detail, many-to-many, self relationship, external relationship, and hierarchical relationship. Okay. Now, lookup relationship is the first relationship, and it is a loosely coupled relationship. So there'll be a parent and there will be a child, and child will be connected to parent via a lookup relationship. So it is loosely coupled. That means a child can coexist without having a parent. It's not mandatory for you to add a parent on it. That is why it is a loosely coupled relationship. Sometimes you get in an interview that, what do you mean by loosely coupled? So that means that child can coexist without having a parent as well. Okay. Because it is loosely coupled, there is not much impact on security because parent does not cover the security of child. Okay, in lookup relationship. Okay, and roll up summary fields are not available in the lookup relationship by default. If you have to achieve that functionality, you may have to go with the custom route and create some automation to achieve that. But by default, roll up summary fields are not available in the lookup relationship. Okay, up to 40 fields you can create to one object, and this limit is combination of lookup and master detail, where you can create only two master details at max, and then if you have created two, then you will only be able to create 38 lookup relationship field. If there is no master detail, then you can go up to 40 fields, 40 lookup relationships per object. Okay. These limits keep on changing. Initially, this was 25 fields. This has been increased by Salesforce to 40. So you may also get to see 25 somewhere. Okay. See, that is the problem with the blogs, is that, let's say if I'm a blogger, I publish the blog, and if something changes in the technology, I have a huge burden to update all my blogs. So I will keep them as it is and put a date there that as per date, this date, this is what. But new people go through those old blogs as well, and then they get to see. So that is why I refer always Salesforce standard documentation on anything related to limits. Anything associated with the numbers, go to the standard Salesforce site to verify that. Okay. There are many good blogs and good sites available. I'm not against any of them, but always verify with the Salesforce. Then comes the master detail relationship. Okay. Master detail is a tightly coupled relationship where a child must need to have a parent. Okay. In fact, the parent field will be required on the page layout as well if it is a master detail relationship. This also provides a cascade delete option. That means if you delete a parent, the associated childs will also get deleted. Cascade record level security. The security of the child record will be controlled by the parent. So if you do not have access to parent, you will not be able to do anything on the child as well. Roll up summary fields are available. That means you can roll up the fields of child into the parents. And we will see how to create roll up summary quickly after the PPT section. The question sometimes we get it that, can see whatever Salesforce has predefined or already created cannot cannot be changed. Like sometimes they ask that contact is the child of account and all those things. But if you go through, if you try to create a master detailed relationship with standard object on the child side of it, you will not be able to. So standard object cannot be on the detail side of Salesforce. Okay. And maximum two master detailed relationships we can create per object. Okay. That's brief. And lookup versus master detail, you will get many times in your interview. No matter how many years of experience you have, this is the basic questions. But whenever you get this question, try to maximize the impact by answering the good things. Okay, answering the related things. Sometimes we just end up saying that master detail is a tightly, strongly coupled, whereas lookup is loosely coupled. So for our master detail, we'll have to have a parent associated with child, whereas in lookup it is optional. Okay, and roll up summary fields are not available, but there are other things as well. Okay. So loosely coupled versus strongly coupled, we already know. Roll up summary field are not available on lookups. We already know. Record ownership is not controlled by parent in lookup. Okay. Contrary to master details. So that is we already have covered. Lookup fields are not required on page layout on lookup relationship, but it is required on master detail side, master detail case. So this is something you have to tell in the interview. Cascade delete option is not available in the lookup, but it is by default available in the master detail. Okay. It's not like you cannot have cascade deletion on lookup relationship by custom route. You can always, with the code, you can do anything, but by default, it is not available. So sometimes they ask, but if I want to have a cascade deletion on lookup relationship, what will be your approach? Then you will say that you have to go through the Apex trigger or flows or any of the other automations to achieve this, but by default, it is not available. Okay, and if you have to do that, then why? Then we might think of changing it to master detail as well if our requirement is to have the cascade deletion. That will be a separate discussion with you and interviewer. Okay, child cannot exist without parent in master detail, whereas it can exist in case of lookup. Yeah, that is good enough. Okay, now comes the roll-up summary. Okay, roll-up summary fields are the fields which you can create in the parent object, not on the child object. Okay, so parent object, if there are two objects which are associated with the master detail relationship, then on the master side of the relationship, on the master object, you can create roll up summary field. Okay, there are four functions available: count, min, max, and sum. And you can use these four functions to roll up the fields of your child object and create those field in the parent. Sometimes let's say there is an opportunity, and on account you will have to count the total sum of all the opportunities, so that on account level you'll have to identify what revenue you are thinking from that account. Okay, so in that case you can use the sum function, sum up the account field from all the opportunities, and then on account you will get all the values of accumulated sum. Sometimes you want to count the number of opportunities we have on account. In that case, you can use the count function. Okay. All right. This is only available for master detail. Auto number fields are not available. Okay. So roll up summary fields are not available for mapping lead fields of converted lead. Okay. Obviously, it will not be available. We can't change field type of a field that we reference in a roll-up summary field. So if there is a field which we have reference in the roll-up summary field, let's say on opportunity, we were rolling up the account field, then if we later on try to change the data type of account, we will not be able to do that. Okay. Okay. This comes the junction object. Okay. We were saying there are other types of relationships, right? Uh, yeah. Many to many relationships. So many to many relationships basically means that uh, they can be many child associated with one parent, and there can be one child associated with many parents as well. Okay, so then becomes the many to many relationship. So by default, that relationship is not possible in Salesforce, but sometimes due to business needs, we'll have to create something like that. Okay, simple example will be jobs. Okay, there can be multiple jobs. Okay, and multiple people can apply for multiple jobs. So let's say there is a position object. Okay, and there is a there is a candidate object. Okay, one candidate can apply for multiple job, and a job can have multiple candidates as well. So that is the mass many to many relationship. Okay, how we achieve that in Salesforce is by using the junction object. So there will be a junction object which will have a master detail relationship with job application as well as with the candidate object, or you can say the position object. So position, candidate, and job application. Job application is the junction object. Okay, because job application will have to have a candidate as well as position. So job application will make a many to many relationships. Okay, and we will see this practically now. So if I show you the Salesforce screen, you guys are able to see my Salesforce screen?
Yes.
Yes, Mohit.
Okay. So let's create an object and call it position. Positions means basically if a position has been launched like Salesforce developer position or Java developer position like that. Okay. And let's create another object called candidate. Okay. So these two are our objects, and now we'll have to build a many to many relationships between these two objects. Okay, so that is not possible. If I go to, let's say, one of the object and try to create a new field, we'll only have two options: lookup relationship and master detail relationship. Okay, so we will not have any other option to create many to many relationships. Many to many relationships in Salesforce is done via the junction object. Okay, so we will create a junction object first. We'll call it job application. Okay. Okay, let's save it. Let's go to setup and create tab for each. Candidate. Save it. Let's create tab for all three objects so that we'll not face issue when we create records for it. This is developer account. That is why I'm not concerned about checking and checking anything. Okay, now we have got the tabs for each. Now let's go to the junction object and try to create a relationship between position and candidate. So for that, what we need to do is we need to create new field. and we'll need to create it as a master detail. Now, the first master detail which we create on junction object becomes the primary master. Okay. So this will be related to, let's say, position. Okay. So the first wheel which we create becomes the primary masters, and second master detail which we create becomes the secondary master. Okay. And I'll tell you why I'm telling you this. Save a new. We'll create another master detail relationship for the candidate. Okay. And save. Now, our junction object is ready. We have created the data model for it. Let's create a record. Okay. Let's go to first, go to position. We'll just use the dummy value for now, not to, and we have not created any additional fields on this. Okay. So I call it position. Similarly, I'll create a candidate. Audit candidate one. Save it. Okay. Now currently they are not related with each other. There is no job application. Okay. But if I create a new job application, job, so the position, save it. So by this job application object, we will connect candidate and position object together. And now one candidate can have multiple job applications. So ideally what we do is that we'll go to this page layout and change the name of it, rename it as positions. In this manner, it shows that candidate can have multiple positions, and on the positions related list, we'll go and change the label of job description, job application as position. So then when we go to the position, we'll have multiple candidates in the related list. So it will look like on candidate, we can have multiple positions. On positions, we can have multiple candidates. But that actually is nothing but the job application. Okay. So with the help of job application, you will see that you have attached the position and candidates, and we will give them a feeling that positions has multiple candidates and candidates has applied for multiple position. Okay. Now, why I was saying that we can have what is the primary master versus what is the secondary master. Okay. So what it says is that the documentation of Salesforce says that primary master's permission will be applied to junction object. Means primary master will control the permissions you can have on the junction object. Okay. Now what happens is that sometimes, let's say this is the primary and this is the secondary master, and if we want candidate to become the primary master, then there is no such options to do that. Then what we can do is we can make it to lookup relationship, the primary master change it to lookup relationship, then secondary master becomes the primary master, and this becomes and then this will again go back. This will become lookup relationship. When this becomes the primary master, you can change it back to the master detail, and then position become the secondary master. Okay. Now question comes here is that we go through the question. If we delete the primary master, what will happen to the child and what will happen to the secondary master? Okay. So primary master we created as a position, right? So this is job application. Let's go to position. Let us also go to the candidate. Now, if I delete the position record, okay. If I delete the position record, what will happen to job application? Let's refresh it. So if we delete the primary master, obviously child will get deleted. So job application got deleted. But what will happen to the secondary master? This will not get deleted. Okay, so only child record will get deleted, not the secondary master. Okay, now we will check the scenario where we delete the secondary master. Then what will happen to child record and primary master? Okay, so for that, let us create another record. Call it job application 1. Position we will create new. Set new position, so we'll create a new position. And candidate we already have, so we'll use the same. We'll save it. Now we have got a record for all three. Okay. We have position, we have candidate, we have job application. Position is the primary master, candidate is the secondary master. So this time we will be deleting the secondary master and we'll see what is the effect on child and primary master. Okay. So no, we have to delete candidate, right? Candidate is the secondary master, right? So let's delete it. And candidate got deleted. Let us see what happens to job application. Job application will definitely get deleted. What happens to position? Position will remain same. Okay, so when we delete the primary master, or doesn't matter if we delete the primary master or the secondary master, the child record will get deleted, not the other master. Okay, other master will still remain same. Okay, can we convert it to like the relationship to master detail? Sorry, master detail is already. Can we convert at least one of the relationship to lookup?
Mohit, I have a question actually.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Basically, like in a field relationship, we have, let's say, two master detail. So
Mhm.
how we can identify like which one is the primary and which one is the secondary? And one more thing, like what is the difference between them?
See, the difference is pretty simple. The primary master will control the record ownership of it. Okay, so primary owner. Just a second. I'll show you the standard Salesforce document on that. Don't worry. I have it somewhere. So, okay, first I'll tell you how to find out the primary relationship and secondary master, primary master and secondary master. So the easier way is to go to the relationship field and see that field when it was created. It was created 9:26 a.m. on 18th. If you go to the other one, candidate was created on almost same time. So this is sometimes how we do it is that we'll check when it was created, and by that we'll get which one was created first. Whichever master detail was created first will be the primary master. But if that is not the case, then we have to go to workbench. And from there we can check that. In the field itself, there is no way which will say that this is primary master or secondary master. Okay, so we will go to the standard and custom fields. We will go to the job application object, go to the fields of it. Both these field, candidate and position, you can expand, and then here you will see that relationship order. Here relationship order is 1, whereas here relationship order is 0. So whichever has 0 is the primary master, whichever has 1 is the secondary master. Okay, this is the other way to do that. Okay,
Okay.
now
Wait,
come to the part why we are even considering that. Okay, so just a second. Considerations on master detail, sorry, not master detail, many to many relationships. Yes, Manjunath, I'll take your question after explaining this. So just a second. Let me go through the Salesforce documentation. Okay. So here it is given that how you can create junction object and how you will be able to mimic the functionality of many to many relationships. Okay. And there was just a second. Yeah, this is the document I was talking about. Okay. Yeah. See, the first master detail relationships you create on your junction object becomes the primary relationship. This affects the following of the junction object records. Look and feel. The junction object's detailed and edit page use the color and any associated icon of the primary master object. Record ownership. This is the main thing. The junction object records inherit the value of the owner field from their associated primary master record. Because objects on the detail side of relationship don't have a visible owner field, this is only relevant if you later delete both master detail relationships of your junction object. So if you change it both to the lookup relationships, then who will be the owner of your child record? So that will be inherited from the primary master you had. Okay. If your organization uses divisions to segment data, I don't think anybody will be using this, but the junction object records inherit this division from their associated primary master records. Similar to the record ownership, this is only relevant if you later delete both primary master detail relationship. Okay, the second master detail relationships you create on your junction object becomes the secondary relationship. If you delete the primary master detail relationship or convert it to lookup relationship, the secondary master becomes the primary. Okay. Now there are a couple of points you have to remember. Okay, roll-up summary fields that summarizes data from the junction object can be created on both masters. So there is no difference between primary master and secondary master in terms of roll-up summary field. So you can create roll-up summary field on candidate as well as on the position object, and you can have the detail side of junction object on both the objects. Okay. So roll-up summary field will be fine. Formula fields and validation rules on junction object can reference field from both the master object. You can define apex trigger on both master objects and the junction object. A junction object can't be on the master side of another master detail relationship. So let's say you create any other master detail relationship where you want job application as the parent, you will not be able to do that. Okay. So there is one more point you have to consider this. I have also written it on the PPT. In a many-to-many relationship, a user can't delete a parent record if there are more than 200 junction objects record associated with it, and if the junction object has a roll-up summary field that rolls up to another parent. Okay, so similarly, what we are trying to say is that if you want to delete the position record, and it has 200 junction objects associated, like 200 job applications, plus we are rolling up job applications to candidate object, then we will not be able to delete that. Okay, so we will see this thing practically, and this and is also important. So even if there are 200 child records, but if there is no junction roll up summary field, then we will be able to delete it easily. If there is a roll up summary field on another parent and there are 200 junction record, then only we will not be able to delete that. One of my student got this interview question, like 200 records were there, and we were still able to delete that, but Salesforce says that it was, you will not be able to delete. So how it is possible? Because this condition was not meeting there. Okay. So what we will do, let's go to the position was our primary master, candidate was our secondary master. So let's go to the candidate and create a roll-up summary field. Okay. But for that, let's create a field on job application. Yes. So let's create a field on job application saying a simple sum can also work. Let's create an amount field, don't worry. And then we will roll this field up to the candidate.
Hey, hi Mohit.
Hey,
In
hi.
case of like deciding that who is a primary or who is secondary, we will also have to consider like last modified also now, because the primary master might have been
Yes,
created before, but
100%.
later on yeah, it might have been modified.
Yeah.
So
So
once I got a
better is to go
yeah
to the schema and find out from the workbench or from the metadata.
relationship order.
Yeah, go through the the schema or the workbench to do that, rather than just doing the guesswork, because it is just the guesswork.
Yeah, and one more thing, one question I got like why Salesforce did not created these roll-up summaries, because Salesforce might have created these roll-up summary facility on lookup, but they might have not made it just mandatory like a required type of field.
Yeah.
So then it might have been possible. So what might be their consideration while not making this?
See, roll-up summary basically is to give you some functionality, okay, and it is they have decided to do it only when they are tightly coupled. When the two objects are tightly coupled, then only they allows the roll-up summary, because they have to see a lot of data integrity as well. Like uh, user should not be able to have wrong or false data, or uh, they have to consider it that if they provide that in the lookup relationships, and if somebody deletes the parent, then all childs will also get deleted. So there are a lot of data considerations to be verifying data integrity, data quality related things, and it is pretty internal to them. But from the look and feel, you can say that uh, why they have not allowed the roll-up summary fields on the lookup relationship is because they feel that they are not tightly coupled. So there are pretty heavily chances that you may disassociate that relationship, or you may not be needing that, or you may be changing it, or you may be deleting the parent without thinking about child, or you may be deleting child without thinking about parent. So this is loosely coupled thing. This is not a fixed kind of thing. That is why they might not have created the roll up summary. But the option to create is already there with the customization. So if you want to, you can always obviously customize it. Okay.
Yeah, we can go with customization.
See, most of the time these are interview things only. In a typical business scenario, in the child lookup, we hardly get to create roll-up summary fields on parent. If that is required, we can create, but I mean, I typically do not get it. It is a most favorite trigger scenario to create the roll-up summary.
Mhm.
But in the reality in projects, I have never created this. Hi, Swapnil. Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, same here, man. Because we also don't create the junction object in reality. But just to add on that, does it really necessary always that both the field or one of the field must have to be master relation? Can't we do the same with the both the lookup on the both the relation
Yep.
lookup
Lookup
relationship?
is also possible. See, on the junction object, we can have both the master as a lookup relationship as well. This is also one of the interview question. We can have both master as a lookup as well. It's just that uh, it will it will again be a loosely coupled relationship between all these three objects. So if your business is good, if your users who are using Salesforce are good, they know the value of data integrity and bad data, then even with the lookup, if you create it with the lookup, that is also possible. You will be able to mimic the functionality. It's just that your child will not be dependent on the parent, and your parent will not be dependent on child. So that is why sometimes they go with the master detail only to see. Whenever we create master detail, we are sure that the child is completely depend on master. So there is a reason why we create master detail, is that when we are sure that child is going to be completely dependent on master, and child cannot coexist without parent. Okay, so if we have a business requirement where there is no possibility of a child without parent, then we go for master detail. Otherwise, it's okay to just go with the lookup and treat this object as an individual object. Even if there is uh, possibility to attach it with a parent, will attach it. Otherwise, it can coexist on its own. It does not need a parent for its existence. Okay, that is the major thing we think about when we create this relationship. Can an opportunity exist without account? Yes. If answer is yes, then it will be a lookup relationship. Similar goes for the custom object. Can a position exist without a candidate? Yes, obviously position can exist without a candidate. So we can create a position and need not necessarily need to have a master detail relationship with the candidate. Okay, but then later on, when we come up with other requirements, like a position can have multiple candidates and a candidate will apply for multiple position, then it becomes a typical scenario for the junction object. Okay, somebody is asking, okay, if we are creating master detail between standard and custom objects, why we can't keep standard at a detail side? Okay, standard on the detail side will what happens is that when we create a standard object on the detail side, it the visibility of it is controlled by the parent, which is a custom objects, and that is what Salesforce has restricted them to. So you cannot play with the standard object and the visibility of it. The way Salesforce has defined, you'll have to either use it or just go with the completely custom approach. The child object, if it is a standard object and your parent is a custom object, then the visibility and the a lot of things will be controlled by parent object, and Salesforce has not allowed us to do that. So if you have a functionality, then try to mimic that standard object and create a similar custom object for that and use that for your business requirement. Okay. And in the Salesforce, they have they have control over what powers they want to give in terms of relationship. So even if there is the lookup object between account and contact, it has some additional functionality based on the business requirement. So they himself have done a lot of thing additional to the relationship depending on the business requirement. Similarly, you can also go with a custom object and create your own things based on your business requirement. It is completely business driven thing. These are not rule based thing, but completely business driven thing. The relationship between account and contact, the relationship between accounts and opportunity, these are completely business driven. So accounts and opportunity are also lookup, yet they have provided roll up summary, right? You can create roll up summary on account to fetch the values from opportunity, but opportunity can coexist on its own without having an account. So it's a lookup relationship which has additional feature. Similarly, between account and contact, it's a lookup relationship. Okay, but when you delete something, delete the parent, you will be your child will also get deleted. So that is the behavior of master detail. So it's a lookup relationship with some additional feature. Those features were provided to satisfy the business needs and business requirement, and Salesforce himself have done that. So you can obviously do that in your custom objects. It's just that Salesforce don't want you to play with their standard object. So in that case, you will have to go with the complete custom approach. Okay. If your business requirements are not meeting, can we customize something like where we can use same contacts in two or more account? Okay, same contacts can be in two or more account. That is basically the reparenting, right? Like a contact can contact can be child of multiple parents. I think that functionality, see, because because contact has a single lookup to account, you can have one lookup, right? So that I don't think is currently possible, but there is a checkbox when we create a record uh, that says that can this be reparented with other as well, that we can explore more. I'll check that. Opportunity products, and see, opportunity and products are associated with each other via two junction objects, that is opportunity line item and product line item. Okay, so it's not a direct relationship between opportunity and product. There are two junction objects associated in between opportunity line item, okay, and product line item. Product line item connects products and opportunity line item, and opportunity line item connects the opportunity and product line item. So go with the detailed schema of it. There are two junction objects in between which connects the opportunity and product. And this is a very important interview questions. Whenever you tell that you have worked on Sales Cloud, there are very high possibility that you may either get the question between relationship between opportunity and account, or you, if the interviewer is tricky or you have more experience, then they may ask what is the relationship between opportunity and product. Okay, so you can check that in this schema. There are two junction objects associated in between opportunity line item, we also call it opportunity product, and product line item and opportunity line item. Okay, so go through that in detail. If you want, I can share that schema as well here.
Yes, please, Mohit.
Okay. But it is an important interview question, and I have written that in sheet as well. Schema. See, there are not much questions from the junction object in interviews, to be very frank, but you should know that there can be multiple things in there. It is a bit tricky topic. Explain account and contact. Account and contact relationship is lookup relationship with an additional feature of cascade delete. That means if you delete the account, your contact will also get deleted. So interviewer will try to trick you by saying if we can delete an account and all contacts will get deleted automatically, then that is the master detail. You will say no, it is a lookup relationship with an additional feature of cascade delete. In the Salesforce standard relationship, Salesforce has provided some additional features to satisfy the business requirement. And this is one such scenario where they have given additional cascade delete option on account, which deletes all the contacts whenever we delete an account. So it is a lookup relationship. If it is an objective question, it is a lookup relationship. Okay. Don't get confused. Opportunity and product, right? So this is your opportunity. This is your product. Let me zoom it. Okay. There is no direct relationship. You can see that there is no direct relationship between them. Now, when we add opportunity product to it, then it becomes the related object. Okay. There must be another option as well. The product and product. This is different. Opportunity product is like sorry, this sucks. Schema builder. I once created a detailed graph on this. I will also share that. But I remember there was one object, one additional object. Okay. So from here, you can see that opportunity product is the junction object between opportunity and product, and this connects opportunity and product. Okay. I will see if there was any additional. I think that
Mohit, one question. So, between opportunity line item and opportunity, there is a MD relationship.
just a second. Directly, let me relationship between opportunity and product, right? Opportunity is related to price book, product is related to price book entry, and price book is parent of price book entry. So opportunity line item is created from price book entries related to price book opportunities of, okay. See, that is why I'm saying that it is not as straightforward as it looks, because of the product is a kind of different object. Yeah, what you were saying, sorry.
So there is a many-to-many relationship between opportunity and product through opportunity line item, right?
Yeah.
So So there is MD relationship between opportunity and opportunity line item
Okay,
because both are standard object.
can you repeat the standard second line?
Since opportunity line item is junction object and there is many to many relationship between product and opportunity. So there must be MD relationship between opportunity line item and opportunity.
Opportunity line item and opportunity. Yeah. But that
So
can also
both
be,
are
see, it's not necessary that if the two objects are associated with each other in many to many relationships, that doesn't necessarily mean that one master cannot be the, I mean, one relationship can also be lookup. Both can also be lookup as well. It's not necessary that they'll be in the master.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought we need to create MD relationship between them to create many to many relationship.
See, if I change it to, now if I change this relationship in job application to position as lookup and job applications to candidate as lookup, then also the master detail, then also the junction behavior will work fine. It's just that in that case, we can have one position without having a candidate and one candidate without having a position, but job application record will still get created. So that will be a data integrity issue. From the data model point of view, can we create or not? Yes, we can definitely create, but will it be a good approach? No, it will not be, because then there will be some data issue that there is a job application which does not have any candidate. So that will not make any sense. And in order to do the data integrity and in order to make sure that we have a solid data, we then create master detail. Otherwise, in lookup, there are chances that your users will enter wrong data or will not enter any data at all. So then your data becomes very bad. Okay, see, there are couple of objects in between. If you see, this is the standard Salesforce document. Okay, and let us see. And in the Sales Cloud, there are so many objects. Okay, so one thing is clear that the opportunity and products are not associated with each other in any direct relationship. They are connected with each other via a junction object. Okay, now price book entry is a junction object between product and price book. Okay, so price book entry is one junction object. Then opportunity line item is a junction object between opportunity and price book entry. Okay, so then you see there is a product and junction object as price book entry, and there is opportunity line item which is connected with price book entry and opportunity. Okay, so that is what I was saying, that there are two junction objects. One is opportunity line item and other one is price book entry. Price book entry is associated with product and opportunity line item is associated with opportunity, and together they connects everything. Okay, so if I'll have to draw it, let me see if I can stop sharing and share the whiteboard. Actually have a, okay. So let's say this is the opportunity. Okay, I'm very bad in drawing. Bear with me. This is product. Okay. Now here we have opportunity line item. And here we have, here let's say we have price book entry. Price book entry is a relationship between product and price book. Okay.
Mohit, can you minimize those pop-ups? I can see people are scrolling like
Sorry, is there any option to minimize that?
pop-ups.
Yeah, but is there any option to minimize that?
Because people are scrolling their cursors over there. We can see their names are rolling here and there in the whiteboard.
Just give me a minute. I'll just draw that. Guys. Sorry, I have to zoom in a little bit. I don't use these options, so that is why there is. Okay, so what I was saying is that there is product. Okay, product and price book item is a junction object between price book entry is a junction object between price book and product. And here opportunity is associated with opportunity line item. Now there is a relationship between price book entry and opportunity line item, and that is how products and opportunities are connected through these two junction object. Okay, price book entry and opportunity line item. So that is something you guys also need to go through and from schema check the proper relationship. But one thing is very clear is that products and opportunities are not directly related. They are related via junction objects. Okay.
Mohit, you just show us that opportunity line item is also related to the product directly.
See,
Opportunity product and opportunity line item both are same. API name is opportunity line item.
yeah, that I know. Opportunity line item and opportunity is product, but they see product. There must be
On
something.
schema, you show us.
Yeah, I am sharing a schema. I'm sure looking the schema as well, but there must be some other thing as well. Like we cannot directly associate products in opportunity line item. Okay, product is something else, but we do not sell product without the price book entry of it. Uh, let's say we sell generator or something. So in order to associate that generator with any opportunity line item, we need to have a price book entry. Okay, because when we follow the proper sales cloud, it's not just the product. We do not directly sell the products. Price book entry contains that which price book this particular product is part of, whether we are discounting it or not discounting it. So price book entry becomes the starting point of it to associate it with the opportunity line item. We do not directly add the product on the opportunity line item because that will not make sense. Okay, we will not get any information related to its price, discounting, or other related details as well. Whatever I showed you schema is the standard. Just a second. On the schema, let me add few things as well. That might clear big picture. So I'll stop this. I'll share the screen again, and then we will see. Huh? So if I add the price book and price book entry, yeah. So okay, so now you can see that from the price book entry is associated with the opportunity as well as price book. Okay, so there must be some way. See, from the business point of view, if you try to understand, we do not directly associate product. Okay, so we'll have to have an entry for that product in the price book. Now price book entry is not associated with opportunity product, and that is my question. Okay, let's spend some more time on this to figure out the exact thing. This is also the DevOps, so might not have the clear picture. I'll also explain it more, understand it more from the backup point of view. But one thing for sure is that they are not directly related. They are associated with the junction objects in between. Okay, so For now, you just say that they are not directly associated until we explore it more. Okay, from the schema, because the schema is a bit confusing and I don't want to give you the incomplete information. Okay, as far as I know, they are associated with two junction objects in between, and that also makes logically sense. But then price book entries are also not associated with the opportunity product. So that kind of confuses even with this. Okay, so for now, let's take a pause here and spend more time on this and then answer this. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
guys.
okay, Mohit.
But this is an important question. I think for the account and contract relationship, I told already that is the right way to say rather than getting confused on that. So say that they are lookup relationships. Okay. Same is the case with the opportunity and account relationship as well. It has.
Mohit, one more
Yeah, please
question.
go ahead. Please go ahead.
We can change the relationship, right? So in that, like, suppose we are changing the relationship, so there might be some data loss. So how can we ensure
See,
there
if
would
there is
not
data.
be any data?
Yeah, this is a topic we will cover tomorrow as well. See, if there is already a data and when we try to change the relationship, if data is there, then it will not allow you to. So if let's say there is a master detail relationship and you want to convert it to data, but there is already a roll-up summary field on master object, then it will not allow you to convert it to lookup relationship. Similarly, if there is a lookup relationships and you want to convert it to data, but then your parent does not, there are childs which does not have any parent, then it will not allow you to convert. Okay, so you will have to first correct the data when you change the data from master detail to lookup or from lookup to master detail. Now the data loss situation is the situation where we convert or change the data type from, let's say, text area to text or something from number to something else. Then there are obviously there are cases of the data loss. I have documented that cases, will share it with you, but we'll have to be very careful when we change the data type of any field. See, in the lookup and master detail, it will not allow you to change it unless you correct your data. Okay, but in order to correct, sometimes people just put some random data. That is also wrong. Okay, so it is not possible to change the data without correcting the data. I mean, it is possible if you will have, if you just provide some dummy data or something, but Salesforce gives us warning when we convert it. Data loss, there are a lot of data loss situation when we trying to change the data type from number to text or text to text area. So there are situations I have written down on my notes. I will share it with you today. We will also cover it in
Uh,
more detail. Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Hello, Mohit. One more question.
Please go ahead.
Mohit, just like when we are convert from lookup to master, and if the lookup have the already record is there, so we cannot convert it, right? In the master.
Can you repeat again?
So we have the suppose we want to convert from lookup to master, okay? And if there is a already record in the lookup, so we cannot able to convert to the master. But
See.
still, I want to
Mhm.
convert it. So how can we do?
See, if we want to convert a lookup to master detail, okay, then what is required is that all of your child records should have a parent, because that is the basic necessary condition for a master detail. Like, child should not exist on its own. So if all of your child record has a master, then you will be able to convert lookup into master detail. Okay. So you just need to make sure that all of your child record has a master. That's it. There should not be any child record which does not have a parent. That's it. If that condition is satisfied, then you will be able to convert it if the conversion option is available. Okay.
Okay.
If you already have not more than two master detail relationships in your org, in your object, then you will be able to. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. See, the relationship between account and opportunity is not account and opportunity. The product and opportunity is simple, is related with opportunity line item and price book entry. That's what we figured it out. But this diagram is not giving us the clear picture about it. So that is something I'll work on it and we'll figure it out. Okay. And then I will come with you with the detailed diagram. Okay.
Wait, one question.
Yes, Rutuja, please.
If we have a limited entries, we can populate on lookup. But if we have a means manually we can populate. But if we have a number of entries, how can we populate before converting to the MD?
See, whenever we have to convert the data type of lookup to master detail or master detail to lookup, that is not an easy task. Like we do not do it just for the sake of doing. Whenever something like this is a big thing, converting the data type from lookup to master detail. So in a typical project, when it happens, business has to be involved there. You will have to extract the data of the object, the parent associated with it. Somebody from the data team or someone from the team will make sure that we go through the data manually and check that which parent will be associated with the child. We'll have to fill in the data on the lookup field, the parent field. That's it. Without that, we'll not be able to do that. If that is the case, then sometimes we do extract the data and delete it and then create it from base and then re-push the data via the data loader or any other tool. But changing the data type from lookup to master is a big step. And everybody from the business is involved in this. It's not just that somebody created a user story and assigned it to you, and then you will have to figure out. Wherever data is there, wherever the real data which business is using is part of the process, then you will have to involve business people. And then this takes some time to do some data cleaning as well. So it's not an easy task. Depends on how much data we have, we will define the strategy for it. But this obviously takes a lot of decision making from the business as well. We as a Salesforce developer will not make that decision to convert it without laying out all the possible consequences of that. So if you are a developer or a consultant, you are working on this project and somebody asks you to do that, you will warn them immediately that changing it will have a consequences. Okay, and you will list down all the consequences. Whenever you get the business approval to do something like this, then only do. Without that, don't go ahead or do any such thing. This is the kind of thing which creates um, like which breaks the org sometimes. Okay, so don't do this normally. Okay, does that answer your question?
Yes, yes. Thank you.
See, there was a case in my previous organization where we were using email to case. There was a field which was a pick list, and user used to get a form on the page where they need to select a couple of values, and then based on that we were creating cases. Okay, then one senior technical architect came. He said to change that field from pick list to text. Like in that case, user need not to select anything from pick list. They'll just put a random text and a case will get created. Okay, and senior developer said that he will not do that because this thing will break the system. And we were getting around 1 lakh cases every day. Because of that checklist, we were getting the cases and routing and everything was in place. Now, if we change it to free text, even if the customer enter the random text, it will create the case. That will increase the case frequency. Like if we are getting to 1 lakh cases, we might start getting more than double cases. Plus, it will also affect the routing. So developer said, I'll not do. Technical architect said that I am giving you approval. Why are you not doing? Because developer built that system. He said that no, this is wrong for system. I don't want to do this. Yet he insisted. Developer said, I'll not do that. Architect assigned someone else from the team to do that. Developer resigned. And that thing actually created a lot of impact in business. Later on, after a couple of months, architect also resigned. So these are the things which breaks the system, changing the data type of it if you have large data. So always be very mindful when you change the data type of it. There are so many data loss situation systems uh, being act weirdly because of that, because you never know which automation is based on which particular field, and changing the data type of it might affect it. Okay, and we are not going even in the apex to check that. So it's a bad situation. Okay.
Mohit, one question.
Yes, Manju.
Can we add one more relationship type, which is called as a polymorphic relationship in the list? Because there was a question in the interview.
Relationship as in?
It is like we have in the task entity where we have some field where it is referring to the multiple objects, like users, contact.
Okay, see, when you create the task, you have uh, who
Where
ID,
it will
what ID related to,
mm,
which can associate to multiple objects.
entities.
But
Mm,
but that is only available within a standard Salesforce task object. We do not create it with the other objects. Like when we go to custom way and create a field, we do not get that option. So I don't think we can call it because we cannot create anything like that. But yes, in an interview, you can explain that thing as well.
yeah, I had explained it, but the issue is like they're expecting whether we can do that. We can recreate that in any other object. I was not aware at that time whether we can do it or not.
Whether you can do, see, if we'll have to absolutely build something like that, then from the LWC you can create, obviously you can
Mm,
create multiple options to associate one lookup field with different object, but we will not be able to see in the back end, it will still be lookups, right? You know
mm.
that. So that will not be possible. From the look and feel, if we want to give a feeling of that, we can do that. Like from one field, we can associate opportunity as well as account as well as contact. But in the backend, you'll have to create three different lookups. So if the associated record is opportunity, then you will put it in the opportunity related lookup account and similarly other. But that is just a walk around. We'll not be able to do it in a standard other ways, right?
Yep.
There is also something called self relationship. Self relationship basically means when we have a lookup on the same object. So if let's say we are in the account and we are looking up to parent account, so that is a lookup on the account itself. Then that is called the self lookup. Okay. So and then there is something called hierarchical relationships. Hierarchical relationships is also, I think I've covered that in the notes as well. Hierarchical relationship is when we look up to a user object within the user object itself. So that is known as hierarchical relationships. It is only available for user objects, so not available for other. It is just like the self lookup where we'll have an lookup on the same object with the same object. Okay, so on the account on the user you must have seen the manager field. Okay, so manager is nothing but a lookup to user. So within user object, you have another lookup to user object, then that is also known as hierarchical relationship and self relationship as well. So hierarchical relationship is a type of self relationship, but it is only available for user object. Okay, someone is asking a question.
So
Can you?
both are more or like same, right? Hierarchical or self.
Yeah, hierarchical or self are same. It's just that hierarchical is only available for your user object, whereas self is available for other objects as well, like account, contact. Okay, so if I give you the real life example of user, see self relationship, that is user is the best example to do that. So if I go to user, okay. If I go to this user record, you will be able to see a field called manager. Okay, so this is a lookup. This manager is a lookup to another user. Okay, so you can select any other user for that. So this is an example of self relationship as well as hierarchical relationship, because this user uh, will act as a hierarchy to the current user on which you are selecting a manager. But does it allow us to only select the user which is higher in the hierarchy? No, that has not been restricted by Salesforce, but you can put a restriction on your own if you want to. Okay.
Mohit,
Yeah.
one question I got in an interview, like
Mhm.
suppose we already hit maximum lookup relationship of an object. and we need to create one more lookup relationship. What will you prefer to do, keeping in the mind that there should not be data redundancy?
If we have to create more lookup relationships, either
We have already hit the hard limit.
see here also we are in the chat. There are 25 was okay. They are discussing the roll up summary. Okay, okay, that is fine. See, so we have already hard limit. That means we have contacted with Salesforce and we are not able to get any new.
Increase it.
And then we will have to, obviously we'll not be able to create, so we'll have to either remove earlier lookup relationships and create new, or we'll have to find another way to put the value. So we can create text and try to put the value via some automations and all. I don't think we'll be able to create anymore.
That means there won't be any solution for this such kind of issue, because they've
Yeah.
already said we can't delete the earlier relationship.
Yeah, we'll have to do the workaround, try to create a text and then update the value via the flows or process builder or work triggers and all. So then we'll have to go with the workaround. Say recently we were also getting a hard limit on number of relationships we can have. See, when we create a formula field, we query, we try to get it from parents field, and also we were hitting the maximum limit of relationships navigations we can do in an object. So for that, then we had to remove a couple of existing relationships. But the good thing is that now on the dynamic page, now on the flexi page, we can have the values from the related objects as well, or parent object as well. So in that case, we'll get to remove couple of formula fields. Also, we can now show the errors in the flow itself, custom error messages in the flow itself. So that also will remove couple of validation rules we have. We can show the validation errors on directly on the flows as well now. So try to use that. Try to create the errors directly in the flow instead of creating new validation rule. It is faster. It will improve the performance of your org, and we additionally need not to create the validation rules as well. If it is a hard validation rule or tough, then maybe move it later. Start with some easy ones. Hi, Swapnil, please go ahead.
Yeah, Mohit, can you just explain the external relationship?
Yeah, external
Like connecting to other
Yeah.
object or the other organization.
Yeah, let's say there is a SAP system where your order information is stored and you want to associate that order information with your account. So in that case, you can create an external relationship with that and mimic that functionality, or you can say that, yeah, the data which you are looking up, the parent you are looking up is in the external system, any other system. So you can also create the external lookup relationship as well. There are I think two types of it: indirect external lookup or something. So if you see,
Yeah, so for that we have to connect the orgs like the systems.
Yep. First create the external object. Okay, give it a name and label and everything. And then let's say if you want to attach it with the account or any other object, then from there you create a field, new field, where you will get the option to choose the external lookup. Okay, so it says that
Mohit, your screen is not shared, I think.
sorry, I'm so sorry. Is it visible now?
Yes, Mohit.
So from there, first you will go to the external object. Okay, from here you can see use external object to virtually represent external data or Salesforce external object map to the table of data source outside the Salesforce org. So once you create it, you will sync it with the data outside of the Salesforce org and enable access to via custom tab. And then once you have the external objects and the field associated, you can create a field on your object on which you want to create the relationship. Create a new field, create an external lookup relationships, create a relationship that links this object to an external object whose data is stored outside in Salesforce. So this is how you're gonna connect your account with that external object with this particular field. Okay. All right. That is one thing. I will explore more on the schema part of it, the opportunity and product. To explain it more, from here it is not very clear. See, this actually is a junction object between product and price book, but then this is not associated with the opportunity product. So then how this is connected with, then the simple explanation could be that then product is, but let me explore it more. Otherwise I'll sorry, say some wrong information. I don't want to do that. So I'll explore it more on that. Okay.
Okay, Mohit. Yeah.
Okay, I'll stop sharing. I'll stop the recording.